long after Hercules broke the chains that bound me to the Caucasian rock. After the eagle no longer tore at my side each dawn, I walked again among the children of clay. The world had changed. Villages had become towns. Towns had become cities of stone and timber. Smoke rose from countless hearths. Children ran with torches in the night, and smiths hammered glowing metal into tools and weapons. I moved among them quietly, an old man in a traveler's cloak, until one evening a young woman tending a fire looked up and recognized something in my eyes that no mortal should have known. She set down her stick and asked, almost in a whisper, "Is it true what the old songs say? That you're the one who stole the fire from Zeus and gave it to us?" I sat beside her hearth. The flames painted both our faces. Around us, others gathered. Farmers, potters, a boy with a half-carved wooden bird. They waited. So I told them the story as it truly happened from the beginning. In the time before time had names, when the Titans still ruled and Olympus was only a dream of future mountains, my brother Prometheus and I were given a task by the powers that ordered the world. We were to fashion the living creatures that would fill the earth, the sea, and the air. Prometheus, whose name means afterthought, insisted on going first. He worked with generous hands and a careless heart. To the lion, he gave strength and terrible claws. To the deer, he gave swiftness. To the birds, he gave wings and the sky. To the fish, he gave the freedom of the deep waters and scales that turned aside the teeth of hunters. One by one, he distributed the gifts of nature until almost nothing remained. When he came to the last of the creatures, the one that would stand upright and look at the stars, he found his hands empty. No fur for warmth, no shell for protection, no fangs, no wings, no speed that could outrun the night. He came to me in distress. "Brother," he said, "I have nothing left for them." I looked at the soft, unfinished forms waiting in the clay of the riverbanks and knew what must be done. I took the red earth of the Peneus and the fine white clay of the hills. I mixed them with water from the sacred springs. With my own hands, I shaped the first humans, tall and slender, with faces turned upward, with fingers clever enough to grasp and mold, with eyes that could wonder. I made them in the image of the gods themselves, so that when they stood, they would not crawl. Yet they remained cold and still, beautiful statues waiting for breath. It was Athena, gray-eyed daughter of Zeus, who came then. She had watched me work. She placed her hands upon the clay figures and breathed into their nostrils the breath of life. Their chests rose, their eyes opened. They looked upon the world and upon one another. And for the first time, there was speech and laughter and fear. But they were naked against the cold. The nights bit them. The beasts that Prometheus had armed so well hunted them. They huddled in caves and ate what roots and berries they could find, and they died young. I watched them suffer and could not bear it. Prometheus had given the animals everything of the body. I would give humanity something greater. I went among them in secret and taught them the first arts. I showed them how to dig shelters deeper into the rock, how to weave grasses into rough coverings, how to chip stone into edges that could cut. Yet all these things were poor without the one gift that the gods kept for themselves: fire. Fire lived only on Olympus and in the forges of Hephaestus. Zeus had decreed that mortals should never possess it. Without fire, there could be no true cooking of meat, no hardening of clay into pots, no melting of metal, no light against the endless dark, no warmth when winter came. Humanity would remain forever at the mercy of the cold and the night. I pleaded first. I stood before Zeus and the assembled gods and asked that fire be shared. Zeus refused. Let them remain as they are, he said. If they grow too strong, they will challenge heaven itself. The other gods turned their faces away. Only Athena looked upon me with something like pity, but she would not speak against her father. So I decided to steal what would not be given. I waited for a night when the halls of Olympus were filled with the sound of feasting. Hephaestus had left his forge for a time. The great bellows still glowed with banked coals. I climbed the steep paths that only Titans remember, paths older than the Olympians themselves. I carried with me a hollow fennel stalk, long and green, its pith soft and ready to hold an ember. In the forge, the fire slept in beds of ash and charcoal. I took a glowing coal, no larger than a bird's heart, and sealed it inside the fennel. The stalk smoked faintly, but the night wind carried the scent away. I descended as silently as I had come, the stolen fire hidden against my chest. I came first to a small band of humans sheltering in a cave above a river. They were cold and hungry. I knelt among them and opened the fennel stalk. The coal still lived. I showed them how to feed it with dry grass and twigs until it became a flame. I taught them to keep it alive through the night, to carry it in clay pots, to blow upon it gently when it dwindled. I showed them how the same fire that warmed their hands could harden the tips of their spears and cook the flesh of animals so that it did not poison them. I taught them to bake clay into vessels that held water and grain. I taught them that fire was not only heat and light, it was the beginning of every craft that would follow. From that cave, the gift spread. One hearth lit another. One village taught the next. Within a generation, the night was no longer absolute. Smoke rose from 100 places, then 1,000. Humans began to gather in larger numbers because fire made gatherings possible. They told stories beside it. They planned hunts and plantings. They looked at the stars and wondered what lay beyond the mountains. I watched it happen and felt both joy and the weight of what I had done. I had given them more than fire. I had given them the power to change the world that the gods had ordered. I had given them the means to rise. Zeus discovered the theft soon enough. The scent of smoke reached Olympus. He saw the orange eyes of countless hearths winking across the dark earth. His rage was terrible. But that part of the story, the chains, the rock, the eagle, the long years of torment, belongs to another telling. Tonight I have told you only how the fire came. It came because I could not watch you suffer without it. It came because the clay I shaped deserved more than the cold and the dark. It came because I chose to place the future of your kind above the will of the king of the gods. And now the fire burns in every hearth you tend. Guard it well. Use it wisely. For the gift was never only flame. It was the beginning of everything you have become. That is the truth of how the fire was stolen and given. Remember it when the nights grow long, and when you look into the heart of the flame, know that a Titan once risked eternity so that you might have light.